Afternoon, West in the world. Welcome to your review video for Thursday, September the 18th, following this morning's lecture on the era of the Protestant Reformation, building in the direction of also a discussion of Catholic reform. So in this section of the class, and in your homework reading and in our lectures, we're discussing the great age of religious reform that happens in Europe in the 16th century. And today our focus was really on the sort of triggering event, which is, of course, Martin Luther and his 95 Theses on the sale of indulgences. So as you move in the direction of review and trying to master the material, here's a few things that I think you'll want to really make sure you understand and can explain quite clearly. First of all, be sure to think carefully about the nature of the problems that existed in the church at this time, building up to the year 1517. We talked about that in terms of the abuses of clergy, the problems of relics and pilgrimages, the kinds of practices that had sprung up around those. And then, of course, chiefly the notions surrounding the sale of indulgences. And you want to make sure that you can really understand or explain as clearly as possible what an indulgence is, how it was supposed to operate, and what it reflected in terms of people understanding about the role of the popes and the lives of saints, and what salvation in this context was understood to mean. The takeaway, of course, from all of that is that many of these practices, however good or ill the intentions that may have originally lay behind them, had become susceptible to some pretty dramatic abuses by the life of Martin Luther. And so today we delved a little bit into the experience of Martin Luther and how it is that in his own religious journey he arrived at what we said were those three sort of chief tenets that are going to define Protestant thinking. And those, as you hopefully will be able to recall, were sola fides, the notion of justification by faith alone; sola scriptura, the idea that Scripture alone represents some kind of authority for deciding matters of religious life; and lastly, the priesthood of all believers. We heard all three of those sentiments echoed by Martin Luther in his statement at the Diet of Worms, as he faces charges of heresy and really puts his own life on the line to articulate clearly his position. We didn't get into it, but of course we know that this declaration on Luther's part does not end up costing him his life. And that this is chiefly, of course, because his ideas, spread by means of the movable type printing press, have taken on a life of their own, and that killing him becomes almost too dangerous. But what's been set in motion here is a permanent division of Christendom between two different ways of understanding what it means to be Christian. As we move forward into next week, we're going to begin exploring in greater detail what are the implications of this breakdown of Christendom, and how has it sort of transformed Western life and the sort of relative power of the church as an institution in its actions. Those, however, are themes we'll be coming to next week. Thanks, everybody. Have a good weekend. See you on Tuesday.